We also have another special treat for you guys tonight as well. To say that our next guest has found his stride here at Mercy Home might be an understatement. Every time I look over my shoulder, he's picked up his pace, whether that's competing in biathlons in Ireland, recording songs in professional music studios, emceeing award shows, or graduating high school as a distinguished scholar. He's a young man of many talents, a Renaissance man of sorts, with an ever-growing resume of accomplishments that's hard to keep up with. So before he pulls away from the pack, let's give him a warm welcome. I'm proud to introduce our youngest Mercy Home hero. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Carlos.
Hi. Wow, that was a pretty good introduction. That's one of the best, and the best I think I've heard. Thank you, Tim. So, some of you may know me from the letter that was sent out. So I'm Carlos Ramirez. I'm 18 years old, and I recently graduated from Whitney Young Magnet High School. Right now, I'm currently attending Harold Washington College. So I like long walks on the beach, poetry by candle. Kidding. I really like math, science, reading, writing. I really like those things a lot. I've lived at Mercy Home for a little more than a year now. It's because of Mercy Home that I felt this growth towards resilience and excellence. Before Mercy Home, my home life, my school life, and my personal life were a wreck. My father drank a lot and smoked a lot. My older half-brother did too, and he also used a lot harder drugs. As a result, he never had the best relationship with my father and my mother. He was in my life when I was young, but moved on when I was 8 years old. So for most of my life, I grew up as though I were an only child. The trouble began really near the end of my sophomore year. My father got a DUI and went to prison for a year and a half. Most months after that were a blur, but I'll share with you what I do remember. I was living by 59th in St. Louis in a two-flat with my mom. The couples below us fought every day. The husband did a lot of hard drugs and was an ex-gang member. He fought with his wife every day, verbally and sometimes physically. The two kids, who were both under 12 years old, watched all of this. At night when I did my homework, I listened to this. I had to. I was forced to. My mom and I wanted to move out, but because my father was in jail and he earned a good salary before he went to jail, we couldn't do much. We couldn't do anything. All we could do at the time was wait. My motivation and grades waned. I tried to distract myself by joining the Chicago Children's Choir. It worked, but only for a few months. Because of the financial and emotional stress, my mother and I were usually at odds with each other. We weren't ourselves and we fought a lot. I didn't realize that the situation wasn't really any one person's fault, but I put a lot of the blame on my parents at the time, especially my mom. And that wasn't really fair at all. I was in the wrong to do that. I knew that we both wanted to get out, but at the time, I didn't have too many options. I talked to the DCFS worker at school about my situation. He recommended me here to Mercy Home, so I looked online and decided to apply. I was relieved. Not only could I get help, but Mercy Home could also help my family too. Before I moved in, I was unorganized, had a lot of dark thoughts, and really didn't like my parents. Balancing my school life and personal life was becoming so taxing that I lost much of my motivation. I even thought about dropping out of high school too. But Mercy Home got me back on track. and it helped me develop into a version of myself that has a little bit more life. My school resource coordinator helped me organize myself. Here, I found others like me who also had a rough start. That helped me feel better about myself sometimes, feel more self-acceptance. Although my brother's still out the picture, I feel like I have a much better relationship with my parents now. My dad's also out of prison too, so that's good. If I wasn't at Mercy Home, I don't think I'd be alive right now. So, thank you, all of you. At Mercy Home, I got the chance to develop and grow more than I ever thought. I graduated high school as a principal scholar and as an AP scholar with distinction. I attended a 3-day conference in Peoria as a part of the Selective Honors All-State Award. I was a part of Model UN, which helped me develop an interest in politics. I got a 31 on the ACT too. And I also stopped smoking cigarettes. One other thing is that I also started running again, which is why I'm here. I'm no stranger to running, but I also don't have the best relationship with running. I got some shin splints, runner's knee, and IT band syndrome, so after all that, running and I just kind of split up. Now we're back together. I hope. So, I ran for cross country and track my freshman year and sophomore year of high school. But I stopped when my dad went to jail. My senior year, after moving into Mercy Home, I took a CrossFit class and started to want to run again. I got to longer and longer distances and eventually asked if I could sign up for the marathon. And I'm happy to say that I will be joining you this Sunday as a Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really like how I feel when I run. My mind is buzzing with ideas and activities, and it's always really quick to find a solution whenever a problem, any type of problem comes up. That feeling of joy and clear-headedness and freedom after a run is one that I can't really get anywhere else. That's why I run. These feelings help to ground me whenever uncomfortable memories come up. When I go to my parents' house, which still makes me uncomfortable at times, I make sure to go on a run beforehand to ease my nerves. When I have a big test coming up, I make sure to run early that day. Even when I know I have a lot of stuff to do that day, I make sure to lace up my shoes. Running also serves as a type of therapy for me. I don't always feel good about myself, and sometimes I just don't feel good generally. So I go on a run. Running helps me bring my thoughts away from that dark place and towards the outside world. It never fails me. Just like running has put a smile on my face, so have you. Your support not only lifts me up, but it lifts up everyone who lives here at Mercy Home. With as much gratitude and respect as I can bring out, thank you. Thank you for every dollar that you've raised to date, and any amount that you'll raise in the coming weeks. Your dedication helps support new programs and improvements around our home. You may not always see the direct effect, but trust me, it does affect us. I also want to personally thank those who I've run with, those who have mentored me, and those who I've talked with about training in the upcoming race. To John Sheehy, Jim Harding, Pete Kelly, Katrina, Emil Dubchevsky, Nick Halverson, and Billy Poole Harris, thanks. So, we're only 2 days away, a little less. And I want you to take something away from tonight. First, that Eliud Kipchoge is gonna try and break 2 hours in the marathon tomorrow. I'm really happy about that. Second, to chase the feelings that you get when you run. Innovation or clear-headedness or freedom, or whatever it is you feel. Look around you. There are others just like you running for Mercy Home. We're all going to be together at the start line. We're all chasing something, and we're doing it together as a Mercy Home hero. When we all cross the finish line, we will be sore, and we will need some aspirin. But it'll be worth it. I'd say it'll be worth it because you're helping us who live here. And you're helping us get back on track. So with that, thank you. Thank you for going the distance for me and all the young people at Mercy Home. Have a great night, get some rest, and I'll see you bright and early on Sunday morning.